So it's early Saturday morning. I just finished watching the Jazz Clippers game. We're going to Game 7, which I must say I'm pleased about because I love basketball. Love to see Game 7s, and especially these two teams. I think they're very close, so it's going to be a good game. And I think the series probably deserves to go 7. I think in my heart I'm rooting for the Jazz, just like their team. I mean, I'm a massive Chris Paul fan, but there's a lot of things about the Clippers that I'm not such a fan of, but it's not really what I wanted to go into detail about today. More so, it's just a case of wanting to explain kind of the nature of what I'm looking to do. I'm Tom, by the way. I've had a couple of stints on YouTube in sort of various capacities. I all sorts of different things, basketball mainly. Did a bit of Call of Duty at one point, but I'm sort of thinking about starting something new. Kind of really just me, just sitting here talking, speaking my mind about basketball. A couple of reasons that I'm sort of wanting to do this. Firstly, obviously I'm passionate about the game. Love, been what I've been into really since I was 5-6 years old. I'll maybe if I feel the whim comes to me or have any kind of interest, I might talk a little bit about my basketball background or whatever. Maybe another time for another day, maybe. But really, this video, as I said, is about kind of what I'm looking to do. And as I said, it's just kind of talking my mind, talking about what I see going on in the NBA. And, the main reason is just for my own kind of personal enjoyment. I'm in a position now where once, obviously, basketball was a massive part of my life and kind of eating, sleeping, breathing it 24/7. The kind of responsibilities of adult life have now caught up with me, and I'm now at a point where I get to play when I can. I watch all the time still, but I'm not surrounded by basketball people. I'll chat with my old man when I go home and stuff, and I've obviously got friends that every now and then we'll link up and we'll talk ball, but for the most part, day in day out, don't really have anyone to talk to about the game, and I figured might as well just speak to the world. I'm not really one for the internet comments as well. I mean, I'll leave a comment every now and then, but it's just, I mean, you guys, anyone, anyone with half a brain cell knows what it's like commenting. And to be honest, that was kind of really the main topic of what I wanted my first video to be about, was kind of the way fans perceive the game and the way that we kind of, I don't know, almost forced to judge and compare and players and this and that. And obviously this season, there's been probably more so than ever. I mean, it's been quite not a very competitive season. We kind of know that, barring injury, the Warriors and Cavs are going to the finals. I'm a massive Spurs fan, so it hurts me to say that, but that's just kind of, I just don't see really anything happening to derail Golden State, and obviously Cleveland are in the East. Nothing's going to happen to stop that either. So, that's kind of the way things are looking, and I think off the back of that, you've seen the MVP voting kind of get far more attention than it ever usually would. And kind of off the back of that, there's all this, who's better: Kawhi, Harden, LeBron, Westbrook, Curry, KD. I mean, to me, in my mind, those people I just mentioned, I mean, those are the 6 best players in the league. LeBron is clearly the best. In my opinion, he's second of all time. I think he's got a chance to catch Jordan. I mean, I caught Jordan at the very tail end of his career, and I'll be honest, I was about 7 or 8 years old, so I'm not necessarily, I wasn't as knowledgeable about the game and what I was watching as I am now. But I'm a student of the game. I've done my homework. I look back at tape. I watch old games, highlights, read articles, stories, and all that kind of thing. You can't argue with what Jordan did and was able to do, but I think LeBron really does have a genuine chance to catch and surpass him. But you kind of take LeBron as the best player, and then you kind of move afterwards. Who would you rather have? Kawhi, KD, Harden, Westbrook. The thing that really irritates me, and kind of what I'm looking to, really the point I want to make, is it doesn't have to be one or the other. It's not a case. It almost seems to be with some people, like, if you're a Harden fan, Westbrook's trash. If you think KD's the best 3 in the NBA, then LeBron and Kawhi are really overrated, and they shouldn't get all the props they deserve. They're all amazing players in amazing, doing amazing things with amazing talent, and they're all doing different things in their own respective systems, with different teammates, different head coaches, in different situations. And this is one thing watching the NBA for the last closely for the last 20 years that I've seen is the situation that you're in is tremendously important. Steve Nash, a great example. Allen Iverson, again, look at the team he was in. They were built around him to succeed. Look at Steve Nash. He's probably the ultimate example of a guy who, in the right system, was able to do amazing things. Lance Stevenson, if you want to take it down another level. Again, in Indiana, in that environment, with those group of guys, with that leadership, he seems to play well. Outside, he can't. And, you see it all the time where guys will, have great careers. Darren Williams did really well at Utah. Signed a big contract, moves to Brooklyn, never been the same player since. And it's really difficult to kind of, especially when people play different positions as well, to kind of judge and say, well, one's definitively better than the other. I mean, it's all subjective. The MVP is a subjective award. What do you judge it on? Wins, two-way kind of play, just impact. Is it PER, stats, and that kind of thing? There's no definitive criteria. So to say that one is definitely better than the other, on this guy's the MVP, it's all bollocks. LeBron's the best player, LeBron's the most valuable player, but that's not how the MVP is judged. And, it's a difficult argument, but the real point I'm trying to make is it's not about tearing guys down in order to push others up. They're all great, and we should all just be enjoying them. In my opinion, I think the level of basketball is higher than it's ever been. I think, you look at the late 90s, early 2000s, you might have had 1 or 2 superstars per team. You might have had maybe a couple of shooters, and then you'd have these rugged guys. Now, let's face it, there's not a point guard in the league that can't play. All the big guys have the ability, most part now, to at least shoot a little bit from the mid-range if they're open. More and more of them are putting the ball on the floor. And again, the way the direction's going, we're going to be in a position for sort of 10, 15 years where 1 through 5 is able to do pretty much everything. And actually, I think positions are starting to be phased out of the game. You look at Golden State now, they've essentially got 5 guys between sort of 6'4" and 6'9", kind of just running around playing free. And that's what's effective, and that's the way I see the game going. There are a few things about the NBA at the moment that I don't like. And again, I'll probably do a whole separate video on this whole getting guys into the air, jumping into them, flailing about, the offensive player creating all the contacts and getting rewarded for it. And yes, in the definition of the rule, it's a foul, but the rules need to change because it's not, to me, it's not basketball. And I think anyone who's really, played and worked or coached or just been involved with the game at any kind of decent level and understands the game, knows it's not in the spirit of the game. And I think for fans as well, who wants to watch that? Who wants to watch a bunch of guys just drawing fouls and getting to the line? It's like all the charging stuff. I'd rather see guys just go take a block, and if you foul the guy, whatever. But just all this kind of, I don't know. For me, that's what I want to see as me being a fan there. But again, that's another topic for another day. I've kind of said to myself, I don't want to make these videos too long. That's another thing I'm quite set on, partly because I'm a little lazy, and there's only so much you can kind of talk about each topic before you start to repeat yourself and kind of also maybe get a little bit boring. I'm probably getting close to that mark now, so I'm going to wrap it up. Once again, I'm Tom. I'm just going to be talking basketball moving forwards. This video probably isn't going to be the best reflection of my work because I said I'm tired. As you can tell, I'm from the UK, but I'm in Boston at the moment and still kind of struggling getting used to it, hence why I'm up at this time and this, that and the other. But again, look, it's not important. Hopefully you've kind of maybe had some interest sparked and maybe I'm not really that fussed, to be honest, about picking up subscribers and massive following or anything, but it'd be cool if I could have a little community because, as I said, the point for this really is for me to express, watching the game and not really having anyone to talk to about it. It's for me to express kind of what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and I'm very open to be disagreed with and for people to bring up their points. I mean, to me, that's how we all grow and learn and develop. You bring an argument to the table, I'll bring my argument, we'll go through, we'll back it up, and maybe we won't agree, but we'll both come away from it kind of more informed and hopefully listen to the other side and have a better kind of foundation for our own beliefs. So that's what I'm about, and hopefully, you'll be like that as well. And anyone that wants to speak to me, drop me a message. Feel free to leave a comment. I'm not inundated by subscribers, so I will get back to you. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Bye.